All star powers in Brawl Stars. This is the video where we're gonna rank every single star power in the game. We're gonna go from worst all the way to first, and basically this should serve as a good guide to know like which star powers you want to try and get first. Maybe if you guys are close to upgrading and maxing some brawlers, which ones you want to focus on and which one are like most impactful. So keep in mind though, this is just my opinions and everything, and you guys, if you disagree, let me know like what rankings you guys would have, or if you think I'm way off on something. But either way, I tend to ramble a little bit on my ranking videos or talk too long or something, and I really want to try and keep this video around 15 minutes so it's not super long. But with 24 brawlers now, we have the new brawlers Carl and Jean. So as we get more brawlers, it's going to be harder and harder to do, but I want to try and keep this a little quick. So without further ado, let's get into this. I'm just gonna have some gameplay going on in the background as well, but first and foremost, the last brawler, or like the worst star power, is going to be Jean. Now I have to have a disclaimer here though. Every star power is useful. It's like every star power in the game has value. Every star power in the game is going to help improve and like make the brawler better. I'm just basing it on like which ones offer the most impact, which ones change how the brawlers are played, or which one are just best overall, the ones to get. So keep that in mind. Yes, every single brawler star power is good, so that's why it's like hard to rank like from all the way from worst and everything. But now that that's out of the way, yeah, 24th is Jean. Like, ever since Jean came out, I was never a fan of his star power. Its healing aspect doesn't make a whole lot of sense for the brawler that he is, like his kit. I don't know, like maybe a better star power would be like a short duration of stun after you drag a brawler or something. I don't know, like this healing aspect that he has when other brawlers are around you just are not, it does not work well with him. It just feels off. And even so, he heals just so slow, but if you buff this too much, it could be way too good. So it's just, it doesn't come up a whole lot, I feel like, and it's so minuscule the health that you get, and it's so slow. That's why we have a 24. Now number 23, it used to be the last brawler plus star power, and it is Penny. Her turrets, when they die, it still feels really random, even though they said it's less random. It's very, you have to get lucky to hit your star power when your turret dies with those meteors or the mortars and everything. So it's just very random. It's not consistent, and it doesn't offer a whole lot for Penny. It's not like what makes Penny a good brawler. What makes her a good brawler is her turret, her long range of that, and how much it does damage, and then her main attack having that splash attack. So I feel it's necessary that Penny is in the bottom for her star power because it's not very good. Number 22, we have Primo. Primo's star power is like, it doesn't come up a whole lot. It just doesn't, and I factor that in a lot into my rankings as well. It's like, how often are these star powers coming into play, or I'm like, oh, if only I had the star power. And with Primo, it really doesn't come into play. Like every once in a while, it'll be that little finishing damage enough, but in the end, like Primo is just, he does enough damage as it is, and if he's up close, more often than not, that's going to be good enough, and you don't really need that little extra damage with his star power. And now number 21 is Bull. It's nice when you're able to reload faster, but if you're already low on HP, you're pretty much going to be in a bad spot. Now this does sometimes come up, like maybe in Feast or Famine or whatever, if you're low on HP and people are charging you or whatever, but a lot of times you're just going to either get two-shotted by another Bull, or you're just going to get destroyed by a Shelly up close, so it doesn't really matter. This doesn't come into a play a whole lot, so that's why we have it really, really low. Now number 20, this one did improve a little bit, but I still feel the same way compared to my last ranking from 3 months ago. It is Frank. His star power, like, I feel like it's just like a win more thing, where it's like he does so much damage as it is, and he pretty much three-shots majority of the brawlers, and if you land your stun, like, it's, yeah, I like it now how it's better, where, because before you had to pick up the skulls, but now it's just like once you kill a brawler, you're gonna get that star power. But still, I just feel like it's not always necessary. I mean, don't get me wrong, a damage buff is nice, but I feel like it's not really necessary with Frank. Like, he still does so much damage on his own, and it's not like so that makes it not the greatest, because I mean, obviously it's good, it's helpful, but just in terms of how much it impacts and changes Frank, not so much. So I would say you can wait on getting his star power. On number 19 is Brock. They buffed the damage on his flames a little bit, but it's still on the lower tier because it doesn't deal a whole lot of damage. Like, you can literally just walk through it. Now, it does have the added advantage of, like, if people see fire on the map or some sort of like, same with like the barley stuff, they're not gonna walk through it because it's gonna either reset their time to like heal, or it's just like a, you see something on the map and you want to avoid it, right? So it's good for zoning and everything, but by any means is it not necessary. Obviously it's helpful, but it's still on the lower end, where I would say wait till I'll get this star power here. And at number 18, we have Carl. It's still like a week or two in with Carl's star power, but I don't know, like I feel like in a way it's good because you can throw more axes and it'll come back to you faster. But at the same time, you can look at it this way, where it's actually, it could be bad when you have a star power, because you throw it and sometimes you want to try and get around a wall and you have less time to get positioned to get where that boomerang, did I say axe? I mean, it is a pickaxe, but it's like a boomerang pickaxe. So you have less time to get your position to like where you want to get your boomerang to go. I don't know. Maybe they could add like a star power similar to Daryl, where he gets some sort of shielding when he's using his super. I would kind of like that more. Or maybe they increase his range with his main attack with the star power. It's good, it's okay, but there's some times where I wish I didn't actually have it, when I'd want to try and get like in position and shoot around the wall with the pickaxe. But maybe I'll change my ranking on this, but I think this is fair for now. On number 17, this is the big change from my last one. This is Piper. I just feel like as time has gone on, I feel like there's less need for the star power. I mean, it's very, obviously it's helpful, it does a little bit more damage, but I feel like with Piper just on her own, like even if you don't have her max level or with the star power, she does so much damage as it is. It doesn't really change how you play Piper. It doesn't really affect a whole lot. Yes, you're gonna deal a little bit more damage if you have it while you're standing in the grass, but it's another thing too where grass is becoming less effective, because ever since they changed it where grass no longer respawns, I feel like that's an indirect nerf kind of to the star power too. So that's why we dropped it a lot in the ranking. I feel like she's just sufficient and very good on her own even without it. So that's that. Now number 16 is a controversial one. It is Crow. I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, I mean, I am, but like it only really, how do I say this? In team game modes, I think this is better, but as of right now, with Crow, majority of the time, he's a very dominant brawler in Showdown. And a lot of times, you're just going to keep your distance from brawlers and chip away at them. It's not going to come into effect with that where they're going to like deal a lot of damage to you, so you really get a use out of his star power, or with that reduced damage. It's more of like, it's more impactful when he's playing a team game mode and he's able to get like that, his hits on the enemy brawlers, and it helps like reduce damage to like your teammates and stuff. But with him being mainly a Showdown brawler, where that's his best game mode by far, I feel like it does. For me, I feel like this is a fair spot. If he gets a buff and he becomes more meta in other game modes, I may raise this more. But with the impact that it has in Showdown, it's not very great. So that's why I have it around here. At number 15, we have Nita. I bet you some of you are probably going to argue you think this one would be higher, but honestly, like, it doesn't happen a whole lot where you get a whole lot of health value, whether you're going to increase the HP of your bear or the bear is going to increase your HP. It doesn't come up a whole lot, because a lot of times, like, people see the bear and they're just immediately going to run away and try and destroy it before it gets any hits. Or the same way where it's like you throw it on your bear, a lot of brawlers are going to either like run away from you, or it's going to be hard for you to deal damage to like keep your bear alive. So it is nice when you have it, but it's not too game changing with Nita. So number 14, we have Rico. They buffed Rico a lot, and this is why I think it's not as necessary for Rico's star power. Obviously, it's nice having those the double damage with the bounces, and I forget what it's called, like his star power. Is it bouncy fun or something? But with him, just as a base brawler, the amount of damage he does this on his main attack is really, really nice. So it's not as necessary to have his super anymore to deal an insane amount of damage, because he doesn't a lot of damage on his own anyways. So I feel like it's good. Obviously, it's very helpful. He hits a lot harder, but it's still like he's still very playable and still pretty solid once you learn to master Rico without it. So that is that. Now number 13 is Colt. This is where it gets to like these star powers up here are very, very good, and I'd highly recommend trying to get a lot of these. So Colt, I wanted to put higher, but I did a comparison video, or not, just a comparison clip a while ago where I put a non-star power Colt and a non-star power Colt and a Colt with the star power and have them race. And really, he only gains like a half a tile, or like not even a tile. So The movement speed is more for like the strafe and everything, and it feels a little bit faster. He feels more smooth when you play him. So in that aspect, I get it. It's not like incredibly game changing. I know a lot of you maybe will disagree with that, but I just had a tough time putting it higher with how little that movement speed actually gets you. Now, if it was like a movement speed increase like a Leon super or something, or like a Carl super, then we would be talking. Or Leon star power, Carl super. So number 12 here, we have Tara, or Tara, whatever one you like to call her. Her little ninja pet got a buff, and now you have to take care of it because it's got a decent amount of HP, and it's pretty helpful because it also, you may not notice it, but when you throw it on her super and the ninja or the shadow Tara spawns, it actually protects you guys from like bullets or whatever. So they have to shoot through that and take care of it, otherwise it's gonna be annoying and deal a little bit of damage. So this one rose the ranks a lot because it got that HP buff and it shields you guys from attack. Number 11 here, we have Poco. So this actually comes up a lot, and they buffed his star power a little while ago where it now it heals 500 HP when you land like a main attack on one of your teammates. So this is actually very impactful a lot of times when, like, say like your brawlers are going in, being aggressive and fighting the enemy. A lot of times with Poco just being in the back and healing up your teammate, it's gonna leave them just enough to survive, or just enough to finish off another brawler, and it comes up a lot. So I really do like this Poco heal aspect with his main attack, and I feel like the buff just is really solid, and it helps quite a bit. It can get your teammates out of bad situations where maybe they would have died. So it's really nice. Now, number 10, we have Shelly. This is still a very good star power. The slow on it is very helpful. It's very good in Brawl Ball. It's just very good in general when people are trying to escape maybe, or just try and maybe rush on you guys. And it's just that slow is very good. I mean, I don't have to explain too much. A lot of you, Shelly's one of the most played brawlers in the game because obviously she's the first one that everyone gets. And you guys know her super, as good as it is, and just with that added slow, is nasty. So very good star power. Now number 9 is Spike. His super is good, and when Spike is able to stand in his own super and heal, it is even better. So it makes him like more, it makes him, how do I say this? It makes him more versatile, because when you don't have his star power, you're mainly just using that super for zoning or finishing off a brawler or getting brawlers stuck. But when you have the star power, you use the super to maybe sometimes heal yourself up too, to be able to continue to fight or get you out of bad situations. So overall, this star power I absolutely love. And now number 8 is Barley. They buffed the Barley regen, or the HP buff he gets whenever he throws his main attack, and it's actually impactful. Barley doesn't have like a lot of HP to begin with, and he can heal himself pretty quickly just by throwing his main attack. So a lot of times, like with Barley, you don't even have to stop throwing your main attacks when you have the star power to like regen on your own. Like, you can just throw your main attacks, use your star power to heal yourself up. You don't have to, like, because a lot of brawlers, you know, when you get weak, you back off and you heal up, and then you go back and fight. With Brawler, you don't have to do that a lot of times, so it's very helpful. Number 7 is Dynamite. The jumps are awesome. I think more and more people are learning how to use Dynamite, and just the jumps are overall just very helpful. And I really like the star power, and I think it's a good one. Now, number 6, we have Bo. This used to be the number 1 star power, but they reduced the range on it to only 4 tiles for you and your teammates to see in the grass. It's very helpful, but it's the same thing with Piper, where it's like where they indirectly kind of nerfed his star power with grass no longer respawning. And a lot of maps nowadays don't have too much grass, and there's a lot of brawlers that can destroy walls and grass and everything, so it is nice. But with grass becoming less and less, or brush, whatever one you will call it, becoming less and less on the maps and it not respawning, we had to take it down a little. It's still very good when you have it and in showdown and stuff, but I don't think it's as dominant as it once was. And plus, Bo has a better main attack too, so he's not super reliant on his star power too, which is nice. On number 5, I did want to put this higher, but I feel like it's a fair spot. It is Pam. When Pam has her star power, it's so annoying to try and kill her, because she just has that heal. Plus, it heals the teammates. This is like 100 times better Jean star powers. So it's top 5. Arguably, it could be a couple more ranks higher. I just wanted to put it here. I felt it was fair. Number 4 is Leon's star power. That movement speed burst, he zips around the map. His super is still 8 seconds long, and he can cover a lot of ground with this. Now, when you have the star power, it basically gives like the enemy brawler a very little chance to react to a Leon that's charging in on them with his invisibility, to react and shoot him, because he still melts up close. So I still love this star power. and it's very, very good. It just makes him so fast. Number 3 is actually Mortis. These next two I could go back and forth on which one's better, but Mortis and Daryl are 3 is Mortis, 2 is Daryl. Mortis is like when you kill a brawler and you get that HP back. They did nerf this a little bit so he doesn't get as much HP, but this just gave Mortis so much survivability, and it's so good. Like it's so hard to kill Mortis now. When he gets a kill, he just instantly gets that HP back, and he's just a nightmare to deal with. Now number 2 is Daryl. That shield is so good. 35% damage reduction. It just saves you from so much. And Daryl is pretty hard to use, I would say. When he doesn't have this, he's still okay. But when you have his star power, it makes him so much better of a brawler because he can just take so much more damage and be able to get those finishing hits. It's just amazing. So I feel like it is one of the best star powers for sure, and I feel like it's worthy of the 2nd spot. Now number 1. This is because she is so dominant right now, and it is Jessie, and it's been a very good star power ever, basically since the game has come out. Healing your turret and having those extra bounce shots, it's just like, it helps so much. And it's what's really annoying is like if it's like a Jessie throw it on her turret and one brawler of the enemy is just trying to take it out, the Jessie can just keep shooting her turret, and that other brawler is more often than not gonna not be able to take care of it on its own. It's just, Jessie's star power is just so useful. You can like throw it on her turret, maybe on like another side of a wall or like a side that you can't get, bounce your shots off, and it just helps you deal damage to maybe spots you couldn't hit before. Like when you get this star power, it just pushes her to like a whole nother level, and it's very awesome. So that's my list here. Hopefully you guys agree with it. Maybe there's some things you don't. It is very hard to rank all of these and say, oh, this one's the worst, when it's really all these brawlers do improve the brawlers, or all these star powers do improve the brawlers, but I wanted to put the ones that like are the most impactful on the top, and I feel like you should, the top 10 of the list, maybe like the top 13 of the list are ones you should focus on. So thank you guys so much for watching though. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you guys like the ranking videos and everything. I'll try and keep these updated as we get more brawlers and everything. So thank you guys so much for watching.